The World Tourism Organization defines over-tourism as the impact of tourism on a destination or parts thereof that excessively influences perceived quality of life of citizens and/or quality of visitor experiences in a negative way. But now in this year 2020, with many countries thinking about going on lockdown again, many would say that we are done with over-tourism. And until 2019, we just kept feeding the beast that it's tourism. The growth of tourism and consequently becoming over-tourism, it's something I lived twice already in my life. First time in Barcelona since the Olympic Games in 1992, tourism kept growing year by year to the point that in 2019, over 30 million people visited Barcelona in last year. In a city of around 1.5 million people, the situation was already unsustainable. The other case that I know by experience and probably I'm most aware of is the Japan case. First time I visited Japan was in 2009 with a group of friends, and we spent 2 weeks traveling around the country during the cherry blossom season. It was perfect timing and we didn't perceive that many of an impact of tourism in Tokyo or any popular cities in Japan. Still, in a few tourist places there was a lot of Japanese people also visiting, as the travel industry in Japan is really strong for inside tourism. So what happened to Japan that in the last decade became a super over-touristified destination in 2019? In 2012, the yen was really strong and it was really expensive to come to Japan, up to the point that Japan became known as being a super expensive destination. Things changed in 2013 and the euro-yen rate became stable again. Plus, Japan decided to make visa for tourists more flexible, especially for the Asian countries like China. Then from 2013, from almost last year, Japan experienced an increase of tourists by 300%. But did that change things in Japan too much? In the city of Tokyo, for example, in 2019, around 20 million tourists visited the city, meaning that for every citizen of Tokyo there was 1.15 tourists over. So the increase between number of population in Tokyo and the visitors that came to the city wasn't that much of a big change. Yet in so many places in Tokyo and other cities in Japan like Fushimi, Inari, Kiyomizudera, even the island of Miyajima, all those places were overcrowded with tourists from abroad. Many of the places that I visited in 2009, I revisited with my family during 2019, and it felt like you couldn't even walk 2 meters without bumping into another person. Places like Shibuya, Harajuku, Shinjuku, and especially trains on the rush hour were recommended to be avoided. Some of the negative impacts of over-tourism experienced by the citizens of a destination is that tourists are seen as noisy, uneducated, and they don't understand the manners and culture of that destination. And we are all part of that problem. From airlines to travel agencies to local governments to influencers, YouTubers and bloggers, that we've been just feeding that beast of over-tourism. As in 2019, many of those destinations ended up overcrowded, overpriced, and overrated, making it almost impossible to live in some of these cities, like for example Barcelona, making the locals just decided to live away far from those cities. Which brings us to this year 2020, with increase of COVID-19 cases all over the world. For example, Japan decided in March to close the borders, up to the point that the number of tourists coming from abroad went to 0. And in the beginning, people stayed at home, nobody was traveling anywhere in Japan, and that made something that I never expected to see, and that was the streets of Harajuku and Shibuya completely empty. But after that, and people just getting used to the new situation, measures started to be more flexible and theme parks, tourist attractions, and almost any place is open again. Especially with the new campaign that Japan launched, the Go To Travel, that offers discounts up to 50% on your travels around Japan. But this campaign is focused for Japanese people and residents in Japan like me. Until September, you could go almost anywhere in Japan with no many tourists. But since the appearance of this campaign, for example, I tried to book a hotel somewhere in Shonan area for a short surf trip, but almost every hotel was booked for the days I wanted to go. And now we have another campaign that is the Go To Eat, which offers super discounts on many restaurants all over cities like Tokyo, making that so many people is traveling around Japan and going out that it became hard to make reservations or book your vacation again. And that brings me to the point of making this video that was answering the question, is over-tourism gone? And my clear, brutal, honest answer is no. I think that the moment the country is open up again, we will keep making the same mistakes. We will just keep flowing to those destinations, and the only way that we can change that is only if we change. Being more responsible when we travel, supporting the local business and products, staying longer in a destination, and try to get to know more about the culture and the manners of the destination we go to. Those are just a few tips, but in the end it's you who decide how to travel. For now, you know what you have to do. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask when you're around people, respect the social distance, and see you in the next video. Fins aviat! Whew. I can't believe I have to get rid of this sofa.